I've heard, statistically, they say that 1 in every 3 Muslims believes that leaving Islam is punishable by the death sentence. So what is it that makes you think that Islam is about to collapse?
When you look at what's happening with ISIS, when you look at the Islamic history for the past 1400 years, it has never been at peace. When you look at Indonesia, for example, the world's largest Muslim country, 200 million approximately, 30% of them have turned away from Islam, have turned to Christ. 30%. 2 million a year turn to Christ. Now the beauty of that is the Indonesian state does not persecute you for turning away from Islam. It's free to choose whatever you want to follow. Imagine if that was the case in Iran, in Iraq, in Arabia, in Qatar, in the country that my parents are from, in Pakistan. Imagine if that freedom existed there. Islam would collapse. It wouldn't stand a chance. If the apostasy law wasn't in Islam, if Muhammad did not instruct anyone to kill those who leave Islam in the first place, Islam would have collapsed before it even started. The only reason it continues is it continues by force. And you hear this propaganda that Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world, which is a load of utter nonsense. Because when you actually look at on how they do the head count, every child that is born, they head count it as a Muslim. They head count a population of a country as totality of that is Muslim. For example, Indonesia, 200 million Muslim. Pakistan, 160 million Muslim. If Christians apply that same principle, Christianity would be 4 times as big as what it is. So when you take out the equation, those who have actually turned away from Islam in secrecy, whether they've turned to atheism or Christ, that number of the Islamic practicing individual drops drastically. It drops. It's not as big. And as it says, if the freedom to leave Islam was there, Islam would collapse. And I believe it will collapse eventually. It's happening now. I see it as a cornered animal that is wounded and is lashing out in its last days. It's on the verge of collapse. And this is why it is absolutely important for people like myself who have turned away from Islam is to speak out and say, we have turned away and we are free to do so, and we encourage others who are on the fence to do the same.